You mentioned school before, Patrician Brothers, Blacktown.
Yeah.
Tell me about going to school there. I think you went with Spencer Lenu as well.
Yeah. Nah, every time I just talk about school with, like, the boys, they know that I was the dumbest kid back in school. I was that kid bouncing my basketball to class. Spencer was actually the more of the smarter kid, and all the teachers knew that. At lunchtime, Spenny will probably be in the library studying his course.
I read that Spencer topped English.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah, not many boys know that.
Patrician Brothers Blacktown obviously had a great rugby league program. How much was it important for your development as a young fella?
Yeah, big. It wasn't, like, to be honest, it wasn't even a sports school. A lot of footy players just went there.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the reason I went there as well, was to develop my footy.
You had pretty good success, right? Like, you guys got to a national championship in year 12?
Yeah, we won the grand final there against Westfields, and then went to Queensland for the national final. And those trips are like, it's a hard one because you're still in school, and it's like a trip away for the boys. Like, you kind of lose the whole reason why you're going, and that was probably the biggest lesson that I took out of it as well. Like, a lot of young boys going to the Gold Coast, just like, oh yeah, let's just stay up all night. It's like a sleepover. And then it didn't work out well. We ended up getting pumped by Palm Beach as well, so.
I'm a Palm Beach Currumbin boy, so I'll
true.
take that victory. Yeah. Tommy did, and he was in that team, right? He carved up.
Was,
In one of the early games, didn't you kick a goal from the sideline or something to win a game? What was that?
Yeah, the grand final. We scored on the halftime buzzer. Their whole school was behind me, and our school was on the other side. So I was just getting peppered by their school, like sirens going off. They had sirens. And I was just getting peppered, and like I just kicked it normally, and yeah, lucky enough it went in, and I turned around and like told them all to shush. But we ended up winning the game, which was the good and the most important part, and sparked up some all-in brawls after the game too. So
that was 2018, I think. 2019, you're debuting in the NRL, so it's all happened pretty quickly. And I think you debuted alongside Matt Burton and Spencer, didn't you? Same game.
Same game.
What was that like?
Yeah, very special, especially with those boys. We came through SG Ball together, under 20s together, and it was very special to debut with those boys, and made it even more special winning the game. Looking back at it now, probably wasn't a big thing for me, but now thinking back, it was like we're going up against Paul Gallen, one of the best middles in the game. It was very special to play up against those boys and get the win as well, so it was very cool.
Do you remember your first try?
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to go left here. Corey named it. Oh, great hands. Mansour. Four cover defenders. Mansour, what a kick. What a bounce. What a try. Crichton is on and has scored with his first touch.
I was playing fullback every game, but coming off the bench. And, yeah, just kind of ran on the field and fresh legs, so I could sprint. And then I just sprinted straight down the middle while Josh Mansell made a break down the sideline, and he just kind of seen me waving and he kicked it back in. Luckiest bounce, and ended up scoring. And yeah, it's probably one of my favourite tries to look back on and reflect on as well. So
15 seconds on the field.
Yeah, very lucky.
Breakout year 2020 for you. I think you got centre of the year, but I remember one particular game, and I've heard you talk about this. It was a game against Parramatta. And I think it was one of the only games you kind of lost that year, the Panthers, and Wanga Blake kind of gave you a bit of a lesson in first grade.
100%.
Moses. And then Madison. This is Blake. Big fender. Blake has put it on Crichton. He's left a print of his palm on Crichton's sternum.
This lesson is probably the lesson I give to a lot of the younger boys right now. Like, you're not as good as you think you are. And up until then, I was really relying on my talent. Like, I never really worked hard at training. I kind of just came to training to tick the box, and I kind of knew that, oh, yeah, I'm talented enough to play, and never really put myself in hard situations where I could challenge myself. And that game, it was a tackle that I was really embarrassed of myself after it, because that's one of the tackles that I do continuously at training. And I remember that week talking to Serrado, and he was asking me what was wrong with me, and I was just like, oh, yeah, I got it. Like, don't worry. In the game, I went in just softly, like, thinking I had it, and he kind of just fended me straight in my chest and went straight through, and I ended up being, like, upside down, and that's when, like, reality hit me. You're not as good as you think you are, and it humbled me real quick. And after that, every rep at training, I went 100% in everything that I did. When I was tackling the boys, I went 100% at hitting their legs, and I think without that lesson, I probably wouldn't be the player that I am right now. And every time I hit that field now, I train like I'm going to play, and when it comes on the biggest field and on the biggest stage, semi-final game, rep footy game, grand final game, that same rep of me doing that tackle is in the back of my head because I've done it so many times, and that was probably the biggest shift in my career when I look back at it. And Serrato uses that clip a lot of the younger boys right now.
So he still remembered it as well?
Yeah, he does, yeah. He shows me all the time, and every time I get asked that question, like, when was the shift into being a better player in my career, I always think back to that bit because before then I was very talented and never really worked hard. But after that, it was a massive wake-up call for myself.